we were the worst class to graduate from Bowie High School. When we graduated, Mr. Pollitt, our principal, did not present us with our diplomas. He was ashamed of us because we, the class of '69, we were in an assembly and we all got up and walked out from the school. When we went outside, there was about 15 police cars, and we were the ones that did away with the Spanish detention. Because if they caught us speaking Spanish, they gave us an hour of detention or 2 hours.
In El Paso, everyone was like one person. And it was very, very interesting that there was boundaries, there was differences in El Paso during those times, but not until I left here did I see the differences in people and race relations. So yes, but at Bowie High School, they were like from 7th grade to 12th grade during that time. So people from their diverse backgrounds came to that school, and we were very, very, I'd say supportive, but everyone kind of recognized each other as who they were. There wasn't any type of like racial fights or strife or anything like that. It was really good harmony at that school. We were just, El Paso, Texas was isolated from the rest of Texas and the rest of the world as far as like what was happening like in the bigger cities as far as civil rights movement. Not until one of my first jobs in Atlanta, Georgia, did I actually recognize, hey, I came from El Paso and I knew two cultures, the Mexican culture and the black culture. I spoke two languages. Not until I got to Atlanta, Georgia, did I understand how special El Paso was in giving me these gifts, okay, of understanding cultures and understanding different languages, because in the South is very, very different from El Paso. So, but we went through it and we came out successful in the end.
My time at Bowie, I couldn't join any clubs, or there were quite a few clubs and stuff, but I couldn't join it because we were very poor, and we didn't have money to pay for dues. Because I would ask, well, how much? What do I have to pay? And I say, well, you have to pay dues. Well, how much? It's just $1 a month. Where am I going to get $1 a month from? So I would never join any clubs. The only thing that I did do was join the girls' sports. I would play volleyball, basketball, I ran track, and I played softball. But back then, it was just one day. We practice, and then we'd all go one day and we'd have a tournament. And, we played. There were lots of times we won first place. But, it was different than it is now. Now it's like, every week you have a game. And we didn't, but we enjoyed it. Wow, I loved it.
I was going to another high school, Jefferson High School. And, hanging out with the wrong crowds, getting into fights. They finally dismissed me from Jefferson, and I went to Bowie. Mainly because my father was a Bowie graduate. He knew a lot of the teachers there, instructors. And they took me in, and it was the best experience for me. I met some of the most wonderful people. I got involved with the whole community in the South Side. And I love these guys. I haven't seen most of them in 50 years.
The best part that I remember about, going to Bowie High School, I did not live in the school district whatsoever. I was not expected to go to Bowie High School. I lived in Central, and I went to Alta Vista, and I should have gone to Austin High School where my siblings went. But next door to me was this dynamic young black man called Nolan Richardson. He lived next door to my parents. And Nolan got his first teaching job after graduating from UTEP and being with that fantastic basketball team. He got his first teaching job as a PE coach and a football coach over at Bowie. And so he talked my parents into allowing me to come across the freeway, not even the freeway, cross Alameda, Paisano, to come. And they said, oh no, you don't want to go there. They're gonna kill you. They're tough over there. And Nolan said, settle down, I'll take care of him. And so they made arrangements with the superintendent of the school, Mr. Appleby. And the only thing, we had to be on time, no tardies, and keep up our grades. And we're gonna try it out. Well, 4 years later, I graduated from Bowie. Best thing that ever in my life happened to me. It was Segundo Barrio, and everybody assumed that if you're in the barrio, well, it's dangerous over there. They got gangs, and you know, there's no blacks over there, mostly Mexican, and they're not gonna like you, and they're not gonna want you, they're gonna throw you out. And I got there, and they embraced me. And my best friends today are in this room, or in my classmates in '69, ever. Best friends ever.
It was a very difficult time for us because I think all of us had different kinds of struggles. We just didn't know it at the time. I always think of a lady who's very popular in town, Rosa Guerrero, and her mantra is always lives that are made up like a tapestry. And that's what I think about us. Our lives are like a tapestry. We all came from different fibers, different cultures, but we had a lot of the different beliefs, but we also came back to the same thing. We had a lot of the same struggles. Personally, I was raised by a single mother, and there was 3 of us, and she had always taught us that we had to have hard work. There was no Medicaid, no food stamps in our home, and so it was always hard work. So we had about, 4 or 5 offices that we had to go clean in the mornings, and that was every day because I had to help my mom. So we would get up early, go out there, clean the offices, then we go on to the next. By 7:15 we were back, and it was time for her to go to her regular job, and I went to school. But there was no bus out there, no car ready for me to go. I had to walk maybe 8 or 9 blocks. And I'm very happy that I attended school the time I did, because I know today's youth is not like that. A lot of things they take for granted because they didn't have to struggle.
The good memory that I have is one of the times that we went to watch a football game in Las Cruces, and we had an old car. We had a blowout tire. Mr. Pollard was behind us, and he picked us up, took us to the game, and brought us back to Bowie. And that's a good memory that I have of the person who was our principal at the time. Well, what I see now is the people from Bowie are not as faithful as we were back in the days. Like when I remember when Bowie played at El Paso High, there were long lines, like a parade, just going to see our team play. And that's something that I remember because it was a big crowd. Now I don't see that much anymore.
Oh, we used to always hang around in the neighborhood. After school, we participated mainly with the band because I was also a band member. So it was a lot of practice after school, a lot of practice in the band room and outside in the field, and then preparing for parades and that kind of stuff. So it was very interesting. So at home, it was always hanging outside in the street, playing. We didn't know anything about today's technology. Everything was outside. You wanted to play, you played outside. We played football, flag football, even tackle football in the street. So yeah, it was everything outside. And then it was time for dinner. Parents called and it's dinner time, family dinner. That's what usually would happen. Yeah, and all our friends used to hang around together, and every morning it was do our chores at the house. Our neighborhood, we had several friends there from Bowie. We were all graduated from elementary school all the way through high school. So we became very good friends, and so we had a lot of camaraderie going with all our friends.
When I graduated, we were 7 guys from class of '69 that went into the service together. We had to go because, at that time, we couldn't work or nothing. So in order to get money, we joined the service. I went to Vietnam. I came from Vietnam. I lost some friends of mine. I'm 100% disabled from the war. And also, I'm happy. I'm a volunteer with Bowie. I've been a volunteer for almost 17 years. I run the concession stand for football, and we used to run the concession stand for basketball too, but not anymore. It's just football. And I enjoy it because, we don't have any kids, grandkids, nobody. We don't have, it's just us that we're loyal to Bowie, and we're volunteering for everything. Because, like the saying say, once a bear, always a bear, and I'm proud of it.